Sounding soft and feminine is not about having a high-pitched voice.
Look at all of these. Stan has been so good to me, honey.
Not at all. You have the deep, raspy, feminine voice.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure both.
Breathy, feminine voice.
Don't you know that a man being rich is like a girl being pretty? You might not marry a girl just because she's pretty, but my goodness, doesn't it help?
You even have the husky, feminine voice.
As an actress, it was very frightening working with Orson Welles because being as physically huge as he was.
So high-pitched is not the only way you can sound feminine. There are different aspects to finding your unique feminine voice, and I'll be sharing them with you in this video. Let's get into it.
And I breathe.
Hello intentional woman, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayanime and we're jumping right into the first tip that will help you sound softer and more feminine. And it's a weird one, but I promise you it works. And that is for you to imagine that everybody, or at least most people that you're talking to, is a man you have a crush on. I told you it was a weird one. The reason why this works is because we all know what a woman sounds like when she's talking to a man she likes. It's clear instantly because that man-girl voice that gets a bit deeper disappears and she starts to sound really soft, really feminine, and really sweet.
So your mom passed?
Yeah, my mom passed.
Sorry to hear that. What about your dad?
That tells me that we all have the ability to sound softer and more feminine. But then life happens, right? We get excited, we get angry, we get nervous. And then when we're talking to people that we're really close to, we sort of forget to sound feminine, which is normal. But for you to be here watching this video, that tells me that you want to be more intentional about the way you speak and the way you sound. So start with this tip and bring that intention to your everyday interaction. Start imagining that your colleague, your friend is somebody you have a crush on. I said imagine, not have a crush on them. With that in mind, if I have a crush on you right now, that would mean that I'll soften my voice, right? And I'll look at you and I'll say, hi there. Are you okay? Do you need my help? I'm here for you. Sounds sweet, doesn't it? That's it, just like that. You will know that this is gradually becoming a part of you when your friends start asking you why you're sounding romantic. Because when I started getting really intentional with my voice, that's what happened to me. One of my friends, I was on the phone with her and she said, Ayanime, are you trying to romance me? What are you trying to do? It was funny, but it also made me really happy because that meant that sounding softer and more feminine was gradually becoming second nature. So start here. Now, number 2, and that is for you to stop punching words out of your mouth. When you punch words out of your mouth, it means you're using too much force to bring words out of your mouth, too much energy and emphasis. And this can sometimes sound really harsh and sharp to the ears. It sounds something like this.
Are you telling me he's been pouring vodka down my little girl's throat just to make her what he wants?
You can see that? Too much energy. Imagine a boxer punching a bag and a woman practicing soft yoga. These are two different levels of energy. So when you're speaking, you want to avoid being the boxer and instead be the woman practicing soft yoga. That means the words should be soft as they flow out of your mouth instead of being forced out of your mouth. This is something I struggled with, and I can say that I still struggle with to a certain extent, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And that is why when I tell you that on this channel, we are learning together, we are growing together, I mean it. I am not perfect at all. So simply bring that intention, that soft yoga flow intention into the way you speak. And also watch out for words that start with P, B, and D. Punch, beat, distance. These words can sometimes make us sound really, really forceful. So try to soften your P's, your B's, and your D's. Now I'm going to read a brief paragraph of something I found that is really interesting about feminine speech, and it will help you in regards to this. It says, speech perceived to be more feminine typically has more softness, or what we call light articulatory contact. So articulation is, your lips touching each other, your tongue moving to produce words, right? This entails lightly touching your tongue, lips, and other articulatory factors. So instead of forcing your lips together, your tongue together, right? You want to make sure that they touch lightly as you speak. Number 3, don't eat up your words. That just means don't talk too fast, where your words roll over each other and you start to sound out of breath.
Listen, I'm going to a volcano. I'm going to rappel down a volcano. You don't have a problem. You're going to go. You're going to come with me. You're not going to come with me.
I know this sometimes happens if you're nervous, if you are trying to say what you want to say very quickly because you're worried you'll forget, or even when you feel that if you don't speak quickly, you're going to lose the other person's attention. This is actually untrue because when you speak really fast, it makes conversation with you very difficult. People will keep asking you to repeat yourself because they didn't hear a word of what you said, which can be really frustrating. So slow down, pronounce your words in full, draw them out. See what I did there? When you draw out your words, it is literally impossible to speak fast. Another thing that helps is for you to imagine that the person you're talking to is somebody who paid to sit down and listen to you talk, which means they're not going anywhere because they have to get value for their money. I know it's another weird tip, but it really works. I have some people in my life who make me feel that way. They really take their time when they're talking. They're never in a hurry. And sometimes I find myself thinking, wait, does she think I paid money to sit down here and listen to her talk? But guess what? I sit down and I listen because it's really attractive when you're speaking with somebody who is not worrying over their words. A secondary benefit of slowing down and drawing out your words is that you will learn to only speak when you have something valuable to say. It's like you're subconsciously telling yourself, if I want to speak really slowly, then what I have to say has to be so good that the person or the people I'm talking to will sit down and listen to me. So it makes you more intentional with what comes out of your mouth. Now, number 4, perfect your diction. So diction in general includes your tone, speaking clearly, and the way you pronounce words. Let's look at them one after the other. Tone is essentially the emotion behind a voice. That is how we're able to differentiate a happy, sad, and angry voice. So that tells you that your voice is tied to your emotions. And this is so important to you sounding feminine because you want to be more aware of your tone of voice when your emotions are heightened. For example, when you are excited or angry, you want to make the effort to ground yourself before speaking because that's when we usually lose our feminine voice. Now, speaking clearly is not just important to you sounding feminine, it is also crucial to you sounding intelligent. Because if you're mumbling your words, you won't sound very intelligent. You know that. It can even come across as low self-esteem or insecurity. So make the effort to start speaking clearly, even if it means taking a moment to gather your thoughts before saying what you want to say. Now, properly pronouncing your words also factors into clear speech and will also make you sound intelligent. The reason my voice is attractive is that a long time ago, I made the decision to learn how to pronounce words properly. Even till today, when I see a word that I don't know, I don't try to just guess it. I go to Google and I search how that word is pronounced and I practice and practice until it becomes a part of my speech. Even in your daily interaction, you will notice that an attractive voice is usually that voice with really good diction, clear speech, and proper word pronunciation.
The person said, your relationship is yours only.
I tell you, it's beautiful and really attractive. So take the time to learn how to pronounce words properly. This just reminded me of something that happened a while back. I was speaking to someone and they kept saying the chaos was something else. And I was like, what do you mean that? What is the chaos? So she spelled it out and apparently she was trying to say the chaos was something else. So don't be that person, okay? Learn how to pronounce words properly. Number 5, your choice of words. Ladies, this is where the feminine voice dwells. Because your choice of words determines how people perceive you. It is how you get others to understand you, your ideas, beliefs, standards, boundaries, and intentions. It is essentially how you communicate your essence to other people. So your choice of words can either make you sound feminine, soft, intelligent, elegant, assertive, confident, or they can make you sound crude, vulgar, crass, insecure, bitter, or even masculine. Oh yes, I'm sure you've heard someone say this before, maybe not to you, but to another person. It could even be in a movie. You sound like a man. So before you speak, ask yourself, how will this make me sound? Am I just speaking for speaking's sake? Speaking to pass information? Speaking to build relationships? Or speaking to tear someone down? A while ago, I heard a YouTuber say something really unique. She said, men speak to pass information, while women speak to build relationships. And that should be your guiding principle when it comes to your choice of words. Number 6, modulate your voice. There are different aspects to voice modulation, but I want to dwell on the one that will help you avoid sounding monotonous, robotic, or even boring. It is something I learned in acting school, and it gives your voice contrast. So a monotonous voice sounds like this. Hello ladies, my name is Ayani May. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking to you about how to sound soft and feminine. That doesn't sound very attractive, right? It's just on one plane. But when you modulate your voice, it goes up, it comes down. You speak fast when saying one thing, and then you slow down when you're saying another thing. You whisper like you have a secret, and then you go back to your normal voice. It's essentially the ebb and flow of your voice.
Why do you want to put on so much makeup? You know, you're so pretty. She said, no, it's not for me. I am a Catherine Dunham dancer, and Miss Dunham has sent me out to get this makeup. Click!
It is very attractive, and it will make your voice sound musical and pleasant to listen to. This particular tip is really helpful if you're in public speaking. Now, number 6, volume. Ladies, listen, I have a loud voice is an excuse. That's just what it is. Because if you were to walk into a room right now with the TV blasting loudly, what would you do? You would take the remote and you would turn it down. And why would you do that? Because it is irritating to the ears. So you need to think of your voice in those terms. If you continue speaking loudly, yelling at the top of your voice, which is horrible for your vocal cords, by the way, it also becomes irritating to the people around you, which defeats the purpose of sounding feminine. The worst is when that volume becomes a part of your identity, where you walk and pass and someone say, oh, look at that loud girl. I'm sure you don't want that. So if you have a loud voice or you have a tendency to speak really loudly, be more intentional about speaking at a lower volume. Another aspect to this is speaking loudly because the person you're trying to have a conversation with is far away from you. It's essentially being in the bedroom and trying to have a conversation with somebody in the sitting room, or being upstairs and trying to have a conversation with somebody downstairs. So you yell at the top of your voice.
Sugar!
It's unattractive, okay? If you can, walk to the person and have that conversation. If you cannot and you have their phone number, call them. I do this a lot. When I'm at home with my siblings and I'm upstairs and they're downstairs, I will call them rather than yell from upstairs. The only time it is acceptable for you to be yelling at the top of your voice is if it's an emergency. Okay? Number 7, practice with a friend. So I and my friend recently started this thing where when one person is beginning to talk really fast or sound really loud, the other one has to say English, please. The idea here is to get one of us to slow down and speak more softly, feminine, and calmly. So once I'm talking to her and I hear that phrase, English, please, I know that I've started raising my voice or I was eating up my words. This is so amazing because ever since we started, I noticed that even when I'm not speaking to her and I start sounding really fast, my brain gives me a kick. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. So you can find a friend and do the same with them. Let them be your accountability partner. Find a phrase, a word that once you hear that word, it means slow down. It means your voice is loud. Bring the volume down. It means you were speaking really fast. You were eating up your words. It is time to take a deep breath and speak calmly. If you can master speaking softly, calmly, and feminine with the people that you talk to every day, that you sometimes forget to be very intentional when you're speaking with them, if you can master it with them, trust me, it becomes really easy for you to bring that intention when you're speaking to strangers. It essentially means that speaking softer and more feminine has become second nature. One of the things I also do, which I hope none of my friends is watching this video, is that I sometimes call them up and use them for practice. I don't tell them, by the way. I try to see if I can have a 5 or 10 minutes conversation with them without losing my guard and reverting back to my old speech pattern. So you can also do this. Start with a 5 minutes conversation, take it up a notch to 10, 15, 20. But the intention is for you to see how you can remain grounded instead of introducing slangs and all of these words into your conversation like you normally would if you were not more intentional. Number 8, filler words. So filler words are essentially words used in filling silence when you're speaking, or you use it in gathering your thoughts before you continue speaking. So that would be words like like, right? Words like that. These are filler words. And in public speaking, we are advised to avoid filler words as much as possible, which is a great principle if you are in public speaking. However, there's one particular filler word that I want to ask you to start learning how to use it in your speech. But you have to use it very strategically and very intentionally. And that filler word is and I'll tell you why. When I'm speaking with some of my friends who are highly feminine, they use this word, but they use it really effectively. A couple of days ago, one of them called and said, Ayanime, I've been trying to work on this particular thing. It's really frustrating. It's making me feel overwhelmed. Could you help me, please? Well placed, very effective. It showed vulnerability and it sort of spurred me into action and made me want to help her. So if you want to use it, be very strategic with it. Don't use it indiscriminately, where every phrase or every sentence you're saying, no, that won't work. So for me, that will be, could you please like this video? Because I know that I've been standing here dishing out value. Now, posture. I'm not really going to dwell very much on this except to tell you that good posture also affects the way you speak. So when you slouch like this, it's like you're constricting your larynx and your airways, which is essentially how words flow out of your mouth. But when you are standing or sitting with good posture and you're speaking, words flow easily and your body conveys authority, confidence, which can draw your audience in and make them listen to you. And here's my final thoughts, and that's on pitch. There's a misconception that for you to have a feminine voice, you have to adopt a high pitch. That could work if you adopt a pitch that is 1 or 2 levels higher than your normal pitch, like what I'm doing right now. But if you try to adopt a pitch that is maybe 10 times higher than your normal pitch, you will sound fake and people can tell. You will sound something like this. Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. I don't sound like that. If you ever hear me sound like that, you will be like, what's happening with Ayanime today? So as much as it's okay for you to adopt a higher pitch, but rather you take these tips that I just shared with you and apply them to your normal pitch. That way you discover your own unique feminine voice. And that's it for today's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them with me in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because on this channel, I share content that helps you level up your life and grow into the best version of yourself. You will love it here. As always, ladies, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.